about the sources of stress, its effect and GAS theory. So firstly, we will take sources of stress. Stress is actually a normal part of life. At times, it serves a useful purpose. Stress can motivate you to get that promotion at work or run the last mile of marathon. Students, last year I organized a workshop for you in our school. In that workshop, you watched the success story of Arunima Sinha. She was a sports person and she was pushed from a running train by some robbers in 2011 while she was resisting them. As a result, her left leg had to be amputated below the knee. She got rods in right leg and multiple fractures in the spinal cord. She didn't lose her courage at that difficult time and she resolved to climb Mount Everest. She was inspired by cricketer Yuvraj Singh, who had successfully battled cancer. At last, she became the world's first female amputee to scale Mount Everest. But if you don't get handle on your stress and it becomes long term, it can seriously interfere with your job, family life and health. More than half of Americans say they fight with friends and loved ones because of stress, and more than 70% say they experience real physical and emotional symptoms from it. A wide range of events and conditions can generate stress. Among the most important of these are major stressful life events such as death of a loved one or personal injury, the annoying frequent hassles of everyday life, and traumatic events that affect our lives. लाइफ में बहुत सारी इवेंट्स और कंडीशंस हैं स्ट्रेस जनरेट करने के लिए. कई बार फैमिली में डेथ होने पर भी स्ट्रेस हो जाता है या फिर इंजरी होने पर भी. कई बार डेली रूटीन स्ट्रेस देते हैं. सो वी कैन डिवाइड ऑल सोर्सेस ऑफ स्ट्रेस इन 3 parts. The first part is life events. Life events changes both big and small, sudden and gradual affect our life from the moment we are born. We learn to cope up with small everyday changes, but major life events can be stressful because they disturb our routine and cause disruption. ये मेजर लाइफ इवेंट्स प्रेडिक्टेबल भी हो सकती हैं, जैसे न्यू जॉब, न्यू हाउस प्लानिंग, जिनका हमारे माइंड को पहले से पता होता है, और अनप्रेडिक्टेबल भी हो सकती हैं, जैसे ब्रेकअप्स या फिर आफ्टर मैरिज हमें ये पता चले कि लाइफ पार्टनर ड्रग एडिक्ट है. इन दीज टाइप ऑफ सिचुएशंस वी फाइंड आवरसेल्व्स डिफिकल्ट टू कॉप विद देम, और तब जनरेट होते हैं स्ट्रेस के सिम्टम्स. Here I want to give example of कोटा, जहाँ पर कोचिंग के लिए स्टूडेंट्स जाते हैं. But so many students commit suicide. Can you tell me what is the reason for such type of incidents? Okay, students, you know that nothing is bigger than life, but those students forgot it. They chase marks, percentile because of the pressure. Pressure may be internal or external, and one day this pressure ends their lives. So it depends on us how to deal the stress positively and negatively. Now the second part of source of stress is hassles. These are the personal stresses we endure as individuals due to the happenings in our daily life, such as noisy surroundings, commuting, electricity and water shortage, and so on. Attending to various emergencies are daily hassles experienced by housewives. There are some jobs in which daily hassles are very frequent. These daily hassles may sometimes have devastating consequences for the individual, who is often the one coping alone with them, as others may not even be always of them as outsiders. Sometimes it happens we have to report office in time, but we get water shortage in our home. तो यहाँ पर स्ट्रेस होगा. हम किसी भी तरह मैनेज करके ऑफिस तो चले जाएंगे, पर मन यही सोचेगा कि शाम तक पानी आएगा या फिर नहीं आएगा. Traumatic events. These include being involved in a variety of extreme events such as fire, train or road accident, robbery, earthquake, etc. Traumatic events is an incident that causes physical, emotional, spiritual or psychological harm. The person experiencing the distressing events may feel threatened, anxious as a result. The effects of these events may occur after some lapse of time and sometimes persist as symptoms of anxiety, dreams, flashback, etc. Severe trauma can also strain relationships. Now, effects of stress on psychological functioning and health. There are four major effects of stress associated with the stressed state. First is emotional effects, second, physiological effects, third, cognitive effect, and the fourth is behavioral effects. So, firstly, we will take emotional effects. Those who suffer from stress are far more likely to experience mood swings and show erratic behavior that may alienate them from family and friends. स्ट्रेस अफेक्ट अ पर्सन इमोशनली लाइक मूड स्विंग्स. इसमें स्ट्रेस पर्सन कभी खुश होता है तो कभी दुखी. समटाइम्स ही फील्स गुड एंड समटाइम्स बैड. अ स्ट्रेस पर्सन वांट्स टू लिव अलोन. ही आइसोलेटेड हिमसेल्फ. उसे किसी से भी बात करना अच्छा नहीं लगता. दे शो इरेटिक बिहेवियर. इरेटिक बिहेवियर मीन inconsistent behavior. Within a minute, they change their statement and behavior. A stressed person has low confidence if the duration of stress is too long. For example, एक लड़का जो बार बार IAS के एग्जाम्स देता हो बट कभी प्रीलिम्स में तो कभी मेंस में तो कभी इंटरव्यू में रह जाता हो, if he will take negative stress then he will lose his confidence. Here I want to clear, my dear students, that most of you have chosen civil services of your career, so you will face such type of problems in future, but you have to take every failure as a challenge and then no one can stop you to get success. Physiological effects. When the human body is placed under physical or psychological stress, it increases the production of certain hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones produce marked changes in heart rate, blood pressure levels, metabolism, and physical activity. Physiological effects can't be seen directly because ये इफेक्ट्स या चेंजेस हमारी बॉडी में होते हैं. स्ट्रेस इंक्रीजेस द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ एड्रेनालाइन एंड कॉर्टिसोल. एड्रेनालाइन को फ्लाइट और फाइट हार्मोन्स भी बोला जाता है. ये हार्मोन्स जब हमें डर या खतरा दिखाई देता है उससे बचाने के लिए हमारी मसल्स का ऑक्सीजन देते हैं. बट if such type of conditions repeated again and again, it may be the cause of so many problems like cardiovascular disease. Now what is cardiovascular disease? It is called heart disease that includes disease of vessels, structural problems and blood clots. Now cognitive effects. If pressures due to stress continue, one may suffer from mental overload. Here cognitive mean mind related things like thinking, memory, decision making, etc. When a person becomes stressed, then he becomes the victim of poor cognitive powers. वो गलत डिसीजन ले लेता है. He finds unable to memorize the things effectively. We can take here the example of examination stress. स्टूडेंट्स, जो बच्चे एग्जाम्स के स्ट्रेस को एज अ चैलेंज एक्सेप्ट करते हैं वो एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी चीज़ें कर जाते हैं. ऑन द अदर हैंड, हु टेक स्ट्रेस एज निगेटिव फॉर्म, वो क्वेश्चन पेपर सामने आते ही सब भूल जाते हैं जैसे कभी पढ़ा ही ना हो. बिहेवियरल इफेक्ट्स. Stress affects our behavior in the form of eating less nutritional food, increasing intake of caffeine, excessive consumption of cigarettes, alcohol, etc. The effects that we find in the behavior of a person generally affected by physiological changes of our body, but we can't see them. Like कम खाना या मूड स्विंग्स होना, ये हम अपने आप नहीं करते बल्कि ये रिस्पॉन्सेज रिजल्ट होते हैं हमारी बॉडी में एंडोक्राइन ग्लैंड्स के ज़्यादा या कम काम करने के कारण। सच टाइप ऑफ पीपल बिगिन टू स्टार्ट एब्सेंटिज्म, मीन ये लोग उस जगह जाना ही अवॉइड करने लग जाते हैं जहाँ स्ट्रेस जनरेट होता है, एंड दे स्टार्ट इंक्रीजिंग इनटेक ऑफ कैफीन, सिगरेट, अल्कोहल एक्सेट्रा. As we know that nicotine in cigarette creates an immediate sense of relaxation, so people smoke in the belief that it reduces stress. But the truth is, nicotine can cause anxiety symptoms or make them worse. Same with the alcohol. Stress and health. Chronic daily stress can divert an individual's attention from caring for herself or himself. When stress is prolonged, it affects physical health and impairs psychological functioning. People experience exhaustion and attitudinal problems when the stress due to demands from the environment and constraints are too high and little support is available from family and friends. Stress symptoms can affect our body, our thoughts and feelings and our behavior. Stress that's left unchecked can contribute to many health problems such as high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity and diabetes. Here I want to clear one thing, that stress is a natural physical and mental reaction to life experiences. Everyone expresses stress time to time, yet if your stress response doesn't stop firing and these stress levels stay elevated for longer than is necessary for survival. जनरली लोग जब बहुत टाइम तक स्ट्रेस झेलते हैं तो एग्जॉस्टेड फील करते हैं, क्योंकि तब इन्वायरमेंटल या इंटरनल प्रेशर्स उसके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाते हैं इन कंपैरिजन ऑफ सपोर्ट फ्रॉम फैमिली एंड friends. Now we will discuss the general adaptation syndrome, GAS. Selig explained his stress model based on physiology and psychobiology as general adaptation syndrome. GAS involves 3 stages. First is alarm reaction stage, the second is resistance stage, the third is exhaustion stage. So firstly we will talk about alarm reaction stage. Alarm reaction stage, the presence of a noxious stimulus or stressor leads to activation of the adrenal pituitary cortex system. This triggers the release of hormones producing the stress response. Now the individual is ready for fight or flight. At the alarm reaction stage, a distress signal is sent to a part of the brain called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus enables the release of hormones called glucocorticoids. Glucocorticoids triggers the release of adrenaline and cortisol, which is a stress hormone. The adrenaline gives a person a boost of energy. Their heart rate increases and their blood pressure rises. Meanwhile, blood sugar levels also go up. These physiological changes are generated by a part of a person's autonomic nervous system, ANS, called the sympathetic branch. The alarm reaction stage of the GAS prepares a person to respond to the stressor they are experiencing. This is often known as a fight or flight response. The second is resistance stage. If stress is prolonged, the resistance stage begins. The parasympathetic nervous system calls for more cautious use of the body's resources. The organism makes efforts to cope with the threat or through confrontation. During the resistance stage, the body tries to counteract the physiological changes that happen during the alarm reaction stage. The resistance stage is generated by a part of the ANS called the parasympathetic. The parasympathetic branch of the ANS tries to return the body to normal by reducing the amount of cortisol produced. The heart rate and blood pressure begin to return to normal. If the stressful situation comes to an end during the resistance stage, the body will then return to normal. However, If the stressor remains, the body will stay in a state of alert and stress hormones continue to be produced. This physical response can lead to a person struggling to concentrate and becoming irritable. Now the last stage is exhaustion stage. Continued exposure to the same stressor or additional stressors drains the body of its resources and leads to the third stage of exhaustion. The physiological systems involved in alarm reaction and resistance become ineffective and susceptibility to stress related diseases such as high blood pressure becomes more likely. After an extended period of stress, the body goes into the final stage of GAS, known as the exhaustion stage. At this stage, the body has depleted its energy resources by continually trying but failing to recover from the initial alarm reaction stage. Once it reaches the exhaustion stage, a person's body is no longer equipped to fight stress. They may experience tiredness, depression, anxiety, feeling unable to cope. If a person does not find ways to manage stress levels at this stage, they are at risk of developing stress-related health conditions. Now we can understand GAS through a graph. Here सबसे पहले हमारे सामने क्या आता है, एक स्टिमुलस, और हमारा जो माइंड है वो सिग्नल मिलता है उस चीज़ के लिए, वो क्या करता है, अलार्म रिएक्शन देता है। मान लीजिए कि हमारे सामने एक चोर आता है, जैसे ही हम चोर को देखते हैं तो हमारा जो अलार्म होता है, जो हमारा जो माइंड है उसको एक अलार्म मिलता है कि डेंजर हमारे सामने आया है। तो वो जो अलार्म रिएक्शन होता है उस समय जो हमारा रेजिस्टेंस पावर होती है बॉडी की, वो क्या हो जाती है, एकदम से डाउन होता है इसका ग्राफ। क्योंकि जब हम कभी डेंजर को फील करते हैं तो उस समय हम एकदम से रिएक्ट नहीं करते उस डेंजर के लिए, बल्कि क्या करते हैं, कुछ सेकंड्स या 1 मिनट का ही डिफरेंस होता है। वहां पर क्या हम करते हैं, अपने आप को प्रिपेयर करते हैं, अपने माइंड को प्रिपेयर करते हैं कि उससे हमें लड़ना है। उसके बाद क्या होता है, स्टार्ट करते हैं हम रेजिस्टेंस उस डेंजर से लड़ने के लिए। तो यहाँ पर हमारा क्या होता है, स्टेज ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस जनरेट होती है। हमारी जो बॉडी है वो भागना स्टार्ट करती है। हम सोचते हैं कि उस चोर को हम देख के यहाँ से भाग लें, उस खतरे को हम पीछे छोड़ दें। भागते भागते एक स्टेज ऐसी आती है कि जो हमारी रेजिस्टेंस पावर होती है वो डाउन होती चली जाती है। देखिए यहाँ पर ये जो ग्राफ है हमारा नीचे की तरफ जा रहा है। और एक स्टेज ऐसी आती है जिसको बोलते हैं स्टेज ऑफ एग्जॉशन, जहाँ पर हमारी जो रेजिस्टेंस पावर है वो बिल्कुल लो लेवल पर आ जाती है। क्यों? क्योंकि जो हमारी बॉडी है या हमारा जो माइंड है वो थक चुका है रेजिस्ट करते करते, उस स्ट्रेस को झेलते झेलते, लेकिन वो उस स्ट्रेस को ख़त्म नहीं कर पा रहा है। तो वहाँ पर क्या है कि हमारी बॉडी या हमारा माइंड हार मान लेता है, थक जाता है। वो कहता है कि अब इससे ज़्यादा मैं नहीं लड़ सकता। दैट इज़ कॉल्ड द थर्ड स्टेज, स्टेज ऑफ एग्जॉशन।